One and start. Voila, here we are again. Let's see if we are live. It's been definitely a while. You know, that's what happens when you are just having so much fun, okay? Standing up, calling out your public servants, making sure that they are doing their job, right? Because that's what we pay them for. That's what we pay them for. That's right. We pay our public servants to do their job. We don't pay our public servants not to do their job because that would be insanity. And we are very conscious people here. We are honorable people. So I'm just going to be waiting for a few moments here to make sure that we are live, that people are hearing us, seeing us, although the shadow banning, it's been fascinating. That's what happens. That's what happens, guys. You know, when you get out there and you really start pushing the truth and uncovering all the fraud, and oh my gosh, the censorship, it just doesn't get any better. There are all kinds of different ways how they try to cover up the fraud and silence the truth seekers and speakers. You know, it's really fun. You just find out how resourceful they really are, and all the things they pull out and pull in and try to silence you and quiet you, and making sure that all the other people are busy, you know, looking there, right? When stuff is happening right here in front of our noses. Yeah, that's when it's happening. You know, so what's happening, and we've been talking about it, I feel like we are already blue from talking about it, that it's the mastering of distraction. They want you distracted. They want you distracted with all the big things, you know, like the stuff is happening here and elsewhere, and they are doing it because there is nothing you can do about it. Okay, they don't want you to be taking action. They don't want you to be studying. They don't want you to learn how to stand in your power and how to defend your rights. So that's what we will be talking about today. So I see that we are live. So welcome everyone. And this is a very important video actually we are doing, because this is a notice to all of public servants. Let me repeat, to all of public servants. This is United States of America. Okay, this is not China, this is not Venezuela, or this is not any other place. This is United States of America. I shall say the States United for America, so we clarify any confusion out there, all right? And we are a federal republic. We are not democracy, all right? We are Confederate Republic. Sorry for that. We are not democracy. Let me tell you why we are not democracy. Because democracy is the rule of mob. All right? We are not ruling by mobs. Our rights are singular. They are not aggregate, which means is that my rights cannot be violated because bunch of useful idiots, and I'm sorry, this is not my term. This is what Vladimir Lenin used for all the public servants, okay, that were proliferating his communist agenda, okay? So we are not ruled by mobs in America. Our rights are singular, meaning that my rights cannot be violated because bunch of useful idiots decided that, you know, my rights do not matter. My rights matter. And my rights come from my creator. All right? I know where I came from. Doug knows where he came from. And those rights cannot be violated. Okay? Because we hold these truths to be self-evident. Thank you. Yeah, those truths are absolutely, undoubtedly, unquestionably, undeniably evident that we are all created equal. All right? We are all created equal. So if someone takes in public office, okay, think about like your neighbor. All right? They are your neighbor who decided that they are going to take paycheck and they are going to serve. And what are they serving? They are not serving some corrupt officials, some corrupt public pretenders, and we don't care who it is. It can be a cop, it can be a judge, it can be Who else? I don't care. I don't care. If you took an office, you are there to serve the people. The people. That means me. That means him. That means you. That means your kids, everyone. And it's your job to hold these public servants accountable. So, Doug, please explain to us who these public servants are and what their duties are.
Well, in a government, and the only government that we have that's guaranteed is a Republican form of government, all of our rights, as she said, are singular. They're not aggregate. So it doesn't matter how many people get together. They can't violate my rights. Okay? It doesn't matter what costume you put on. All right? None of that.
It's a role.
Well, it's not even a role. What it is you guys have chosen to step down from your sovereignty, okay, in order to serve the public for a certain term, okay? And so you've been given what's called delegated, limited but delegated power and authority to act, okay? What does authority mean? To act in my name. So you act in the name of we the people, according to certain limitations, for certain limited purposes. We don't have public rulers, we have public servants. But you guys have forgotten all of that. You think because some cross-dresser puts on a black robe and tells you something, that their words are law. They're not. They're just talking out the side of their neck, especially in California. Because I want to reiterate again that this constitutional source of authority that the state of California is using right now at this very moment.
Right now, as we are speaking, June 28th, right now.
Look on the Legislative Information website, and you'll see it says Constitution. Hit that button, and it'll take you to the 1879 California Constitution. How can you tell? Because it says so.
And hopefully you guys can read.
Now, this means that the legislature in California, state of California, are using that Constitution as their source of authority to do everything that they're doing. And what this means is, all of you lames that are out here claiming to be California bar members, the Bar Association was created by Article 6, Section 9 of that Constitution. When they repealed that Constitution, they repealed your charter and your authority to exist as anything. You do not lawfully exist, and by flapping your gums, talking about you have a state bar number, well, that's enough to convict you right there for constructive fraud.
And domestic terrorism.
And domestic terrorism.
Because that's who you are.
Okay? The same with the sheriff's department. The same with the police. No, it's policy. It's French, policy. Your policy enforcers for the corporation. The corporation doesn't lawfully exist. Okay? The offices that are being held by these so-called public servants, these politicians, okay? Go do your research. November 8th, 1960, those offices were deleted. The date those offices took effect were deleted. The first elections were deleted. And the effective date that the 1879 Constitution took place was deleted. It was repealed as if it never existed. Your source of authority to do what you're doing, to enforce these codes, statutes, regulations, all of that is non-existent. And by enforcing them, you're stepping outside of the limited authority of a sheriff, okay?
Or deputy sheriff.
Or a constable, because those are the only two offices that are legitimate in this republic, all right? All the rest of that is SMU. SMU stands for shit made up, SMU, okay? So all of you people that are out here chasing people down on these warrants.
Meaning public servants.
All of you public servants.
Law
Franchise Tax Board. Sheriff's Department. Don't lawfully exist. Okay? I'm telling you. And there's going to come a time when you're going to start being held liable. Okay? Because the bottom line that you people... The bottom line is you people do not comprehend is, All right? The California Republic never went away. It's still there. And its laws are still there. And they are enforceable against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Guess what you guys are? You're foreign enemies right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
And I want to reiterate something very important, okay? Because who trains you? Who teaches you? Who educates you?
The bar.
The bar. The bar attorneys.
The district attorneys. And they couldn't find their ass with two hands and a flashlight in the dark, okay? They don't know the law. They were never trained in the law. They were trained in private corporate policy. Okay?
That's all it is.
They brought their private policies and the British Regent accreditation brought in the laws, the civil procedure from England. The Code of Civil Procedure was brought into the United States through an act of the Parliament, okay? It's not even United States law. It's not even our law. It's their law. And if you get into, start looking at the Northern Trust Corporation, and there's another one. There's another trust corporation that's goes along with Northern Trust. They own all of the law books that are copyrighted. All of that copyrighted law is owned by the bar. Northern Trust is owned by basically the bar in England. Okay? Northern Trust is what owns all of the law that's being utilized in America right now. They have it copyrighted. Okay? So you can't even use that law without a trespass. That's why you can't practice law without a license. It's their law, not our law. Our law doesn't require a license. You don't have to have a license. It's a matter of common right. Okay?
That's right. So going back to these public servants, okay? So and we know that, so you put on this costume, literally costume. You and being reconnected. Okay, here we go. So just because someone from higher up gives you an order to go to arrest someone, okay, doesn't mean that anyone up there is not corrupt politician, corrupt judge, corrupt DA, all right? Because when you don't do your due diligence, okay, because you took an oath of office, not to them, but to us, we the people, guess what happens to you? Now you are stepping outside of your limited scope of authority, and now you are becoming personally liable, all right? All the ignorance of law, especially if you are law enforcement, doesn't hold, okay? Any stand. All right?
Look, here's the deal. Whether you want to believe it or not, you all will find out.
Sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
So it's very important. See, because we comprehend that you might be a good man, good woman, all right?
Well,
who wanted to serve your county, your state.
You came in and you signed a contract. It's an employment contract.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your signature on that employment contract, which says that you're going to serve with fidelity, and the fact that you took an oath, which is your bond. Your word is your bond. Okay, there is your fidelity bond that attaches all of your personal property anytime that you screw up and you cause an injury. It automatically attaches to your personal property. Okay. So if people comprehend the proper process to how to hold you liable, you're going to lose all of your property. And it's going to either be the Treasury that comes and takes it, because we're going to go to the Treasury,
mm-hmm.
okay, and the Treasury is going to pay the claims against you, or it's going to be a fact that we do a non-judicial foreclosure on your property according to Article 9. But you're going to lose your property every time you mess with one of us and cause us injury, because you've vacated your position, okay, and you violated your fiduciary duty, and you breached the contract that you signed with us, causing us injury, okay?
That's right.
And that is actionable in damages. the damages are going to come from you, and your personal property is what you put up accordingly. And that's why that Form 700 lists all your property. Well, that's so that we can attach it.
This is why. So when you get this order from the higher ups, from the court, from the judge, that you need to go arrest someone, okay? You rather make sure that even according to your corporate policies called the codes, okay? For example, here in California, it's California Code, Penal Code, Chapter 4, 814 states that warrant has to be signed by the magistrate, by the judge, or whoever is issuing this warrant. Now, warrant to be lawful also needs to be backed up by declaration or sworn affidavit under penalties of perjury. All right? And it is your duty, Mr. Law enforcement officer or police officer
or sheriff's
deputy or whoever you are, that you do your due diligence because you are the law enforcement, right? So if you are enforcing the law, you are required to know the law. Let me repeat it. If you take the position of law enforcement, okay, means that you are enforcing the law, you are required to know the law, the true law, okay? Not some corporate bylaws, policies, codes, and statutes, and especially not ones that been null and void and are non-existent, which is a matter of public record with your own California Secretary of State and has been a matter of public record for over, there's some situation here.
We're being attacked by cats.
We are being attacked by cats. They decided that they want to be part of making the statement. Okay, now on the serious note, okay?
It never fails, people. Trust me.
It never fails, sorry. Okay, so on a serious note, okay? So if you taken out of office, that you will serve with fidelity, okay? And that you will uphold and defend the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. And the reason it's the supreme law of the land, because it secures inalienable rights of the people, okay? What it means is that these rights are not created by some magistrate or by some policy creator, some politician. They are created by our Creator God, the great divine, the absolute. They come when you are born, and you cannot lose them, okay? That's why they are inalienable unless you contract them away.
You can't even contract your inalienable
rights
away.
That's true. Thank you for correcting me.
It's unalienable rights that can be contracted away, but not your inalienable. Look, these rights are inherent. The fact that you're taking a breath and you're alive, you have these rights. Okay, it's just a matter of you to learn them and to enforce them. Express your rights. Okay, and when they get messed with, well, then you enforce them. And there's certain processes that you use to enforce them. And you people, all of you public servants, are supposed to be there to protect us. Mm-hmm. Okay? You're not supposed to allow anything to violate our rights, not be the number one contender to violate our rights. And that's what's happening now.
We are not paying you for that.
You use the tyrannical acts that are listed in the Declaration of Independence as a checklist of things to do. Okay? That's how you've been trained. You've been trained that we're the enemy. No, actually, you're the enemy and you're a domestic terrorist by definition. Go read it. You're trying to force us to live under your private corporate policies on a corporation that not only is bankrupt, okay, and been dissolved, right, but never had any legitimacy in the first place, and their corporate charter was repealed since 1960, November 8th, 1960, okay? So McDonald's has been operating, right, as a criminal enterprise since 1960, and you're a part of that criminal enterprise, dude. And every time you go out and violate somebody's rights under color of law, you can get booked for it. As a matter of fact, every time you stop somebody and hold them, Trezevant versus City of Tampa, go read it. Go look it up. $25,000 for 20 minutes. Comes out to $1.6 million a day. Comes out to me asking you when you violate my rights how big your house is because I want to know if my furniture is going to fit.
What case was that again, Doug?
Trezevant versus City of Tampa.
Say it slow, please.
Trezevant versus City of Tampa.
What year was this ruled on?
Look it up. Just pop it up in the computer. It'll pop up.
But it was after 1939, right?
No, this was just a few years ago.
Okay. All right. Okay, so it's still standing. It's still holding up, all right? So, very important, guys. You know, public servant, you are being paid to uphold and defend our constitutionally secured rights. It cannot get any more simpler. This is not rocket science, all right? The only thing what gets challenging is, okay, that you really start seeing through the constructive fraud that you've been entangled into it, all right? And the moment you violate your oath of office, what is happening is you are literally putting your ass on a line, all right? That's what's happening.
See, these DAs come in and they talk about all this, you know, indemnity bonds and all this crap, right? Go look it up, guys. Your indemnity bond,
it's not covering
it's your first person. It covers the county in case you do something against the county.
It's not
going to protect your ass. It'll help them come after your ass.
That's right.
The other thing is your indemnity, your fidelity bond is your signature, your autograph on your contract of employment. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because that's a contract between you and we the people. All right? And when people say that we're we the people, we're your bosses. And when you get indignant with us and attack us and assault us, okay?
And kidnap us.
And kidnap us and take us somewhere and hold us for ransom called bail and all that other crap you do, okay? All this stuff is going out the window, all right? And we're going to start holding all of you people liable for this personally.
Personally.
Okay? Go look up.
And this is not a threat.
It's not a threat. This is just what time it is. This is what's going to happen.
This is a lawful
notice. Because there's people that are getting tired of this.
Yep.
You're our brothers and sisters. You're supposed to be protecting us, not have some attitude against us like we're criminals and that we're enemies of the state. No, you are enemies of the state. Go read Trump's 2020 Declaration of Independence. Mm-hmm. Okay? It lists it. The Bar Association, you people are done. Okay? Yep. You people are done. Your crap has been, we put up with it long enough. California Bar Association doesn't lawfully exist, yet you're still implementing this stuff. We've got memorandums of understanding that shows how you set up the California Superior Court, right, for each county with the probation. Okay? It's all corporate. You're making it, instead of representing the people and serving the people, you're serving a corporation and it's for profit instead of for people. Okay? That's a crime. All right? Now, number one, it's theft because we're paying you to protect our rights. And you're taking our money. Every month you're taking that money. Mm-hmm. Okay? Right? But you're not doing your job. You're not giving us the people the services that we're paying for. That's theft, and it's an emoluments violation, and it's a crime. And that's just the very start of the crime. Okay?
Because basically what you are doing is now you are warring against the people, against the Constitution, and against the Republic, which is that?
Which is treason.
Of treason.
It's treason, sedition, giving aid and comfort to the enemy.
That's correct.
It's called domestic violence. It's a violation of Article 4, Section 4. You guys are domestic terrorists by definition. You're utilizing your force, your legalized force, through these administrative tribunals for profit.
Called the courts.
Called the courts, that was set up under this bullshit 1879 California Constitution that's been repealed, but they're still operating and they're still extracting revenue from the people. Okay? For what? conduct violations, bills of pains and penalties, and bills of what's the other one? Pains and penalties and bills of, I can't remember the other one. It's for misdemeanors and stuff, but it's the very definition of what you're doing. Okay? See, in our courts, right, things are a whole different way. We don't have these statutes that tell you what, before you're even convicted by a jury of your peers, it tells you what you're going to serve, what this is, what that is. It sets up a probation department and all that stuff. That's not a part of our stuff. That's not a part of the people.
Not part of the Republic.
Not a part of the Republic. We've been forced into that, okay, through our own ignorance. But some of us aren't ignorant anymore, and we're standing up saying enough is enough, okay? And there are processes that can hold you liable.
And they will.
And they will, okay?
Don't doubt that.
You know, the Department of Foreign Asset Control is one of them with the Treasury. Okay, you guys are gonna start seeing a lot of white vans show up and introduce themselves to you for your violations that we're filing along with to the U.S. Attorney's Office. We are doing that, okay, to the Consumer Protection Task Force, because we're forced consumers. You're forcing us to be consumers of your bullshit, your corporate bullshit. Go look on Duns and Bradstreet. They got you down as a corporation, U.S. Okay.
So look up the County of Riverside, the County of Orange,
the County of
Los Angeles,
San Luis Obispo, the County of Stanislaus. I've looked all of them up.
Don't forget also look up the State of California, all right? And just in case you've never heard of Dun and Bradstreet, it's an agency that basically is listing all the corporate entities.
Yeah,
right?
So they can get a credit report and they can access certain amounts of credit based upon their score.
All right, so you will find Walmart there, you will find
McDonald's.
Home Depot, McDonald's, and any of the other corporations. And among them, you will also find County of Orange, County of Riverside, County of Los Angeles, County of Nevada, and State of California, along with all these other states that are just overlays, okay, of the organic actual land and soil called the California State Republic, which is different from State of California. So if anyone is making a claim that I live in State of California, I want them to prove it, all right? I want the metes and bounds of the actual land where the State of California or the County of Orange or County of Riverside
They can't give that to us. They have to give us the metes and bounds survey by the Army Corps of Engineers that shows the territories that have been lawfully ceded to the United States. Okay? And all they're going to come up with is forts and needful buildings, because nothing else could be lawfully ceded. Okay? It could be unlawfully done by a rogue corporation, which is what happened. Okay? But when the people come home to the Republic and the Republic makes its claim for all of its stolen resources, y'all are going to be in some trouble, because those stolen resources are what you put in your pocket and you paid for your house with. So guess what we're going to come collect?
Yep, that's the tangible assets. All right, so this is for you to take a due notice, okay, so you can take due care. You've been noticed.
Honor your oath. Don't do anything that is unconstitutional or violates people's rights, because when you do, you violate the law, the actual law for which you can be held accountable.
And by doing that, you are warring against the people, the Constitution, and the Republic, and you become domestic enemy, domestic terrorist.
By definition, go look it up.
By definition. All right, so do your homework. You know, ignorance of law is not an excuse.